like you to hit the like button at the beginning because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title is so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl, Erica Wilson, that it had to happen for our Monday Night Madness. This is the NFL Mom Show. Mothers of motivated sons on this Monday night. Man, it's such an honor to be here again with you all. And we just want to say thank you for each and every one of you for tuning in here with us on tonight. And tonight our topic is, it's okay to not to be okay. I'm telling you, in this time, so much is happening. It's okay if you're not okay. It's okay to say that you're not okay. It's okay to scream if you need to scream, cry if you want to cry, whatever it is you need to do, it's okay. Never let anyone make you feel bad for having a bad day. Well, we all know that we could get back on track. And we all know, too, that this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So let me go ahead and bring on my sissy, which is Miss Sissy Sandra Perryman. Welcome, sissy.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
We are here in the building. First, let's shout out our audience really quick. Sissy, we have Deshanna. Hello, niece. Hello. Hey. Welcome, everyone. Miss Wanda, great evening, baby. Great evening. Miss Paula Bowie, great evening, beautiful.
Hello.
Great evening. And we have the superstar in the building, bro, Desmond Perryman is in the building. Welcome you all. It's such an honor to, like I said, to be here again, Sissy. We took last Monday off because we had just come off of our first annual tailgate and tea time.
Yes.
Let me tell you, if you guys were not in a building, you missed a treat. And I cannot wait to show you the video, and when we all come on and we're able to talk about it with you all. But tonight, this topic is really, really needed. What do you think, Sissy? It's okay not to be okay?
It is okay not to be okay.
But you know, sometimes people like to make us feel bad for having bad days. But see, God ain't never tell us that all of our days will be good.
Try.
You know, and some, know how to deal with it and some don't. But that's why you have to come together as a whole and be each other's shoulder, ear, or whatever the person may need. But it says Mental Health Awareness Month. It started back in 1949. Wow. And it said this month, 1949. And then they even have like different themes. And I found that very interesting, Sissy, because every year they have a theme. And I'm just going to read just a few of them because it goes all the way back until, when 2008. I'm sorry. It goes all the way back to 2008. So I'll read a few. So this year it is where to start. So this is the theme for this year, where to start, I guess, for the mental health awareness month, but 2024 is where to start. Last year it was look around, look within. So it says the look around, look within was chosen for 2023 with the goal of providing understanding how an individual's environment impacts their mental health, suggestions for making changes to improve and maintain mental well-being, and how to seek help for mental challenges. So that was last year. 2022 says back to basics. Basically saying it was chosen for 22 with the goal of providing foundational knowledge about mental health. And the last one I'm going to go for 2021, it says tools to thrive. This is very interesting to see that every year they come up with a
Do a
theme.
different
Uh,
thing.
and I think that's really neat, and the ones that says tool to thrive, that one is providing practical tools that everyone can use to improve their mental health and increase their resiliency. And regardless of their personal situation, man, you guys, if you get a chance, look up mental health awareness month and see the different themes that they had each year. And I guess it basically probably go with, to me, it basically go with what we're kind of like dealing with this year, because it said the 2024 is like where to start. And it said for anyone struggling with pressure of today's world, feeling alone, or wondering if they can feel better, where to start. Like, really, where do you start when you're dealing with mental health? If you know how to
Right.
talk about it.
True.
So my thing is, I don't know. Hey Darius, hey nephew, great evening, great evening. So while we're waiting for the beautiful Natasha, Sissy, you could go ahead and tell them all about tonight. It's okay not to be okay.
Okay, self-care we know is crucial in maintaining good mental health. Um, you see, life is a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster ride with ups and downs, and we can relate to this at some point in our lives. We all face challenges, stresses, and obstacles, and it's not always easy to stay positive and upbeat all the time. But remember, even when things aren't perfect, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So, are you ready to kick off this exciting journey with us? If so, hit subscribe now and stay tuned for this exclusive fun filled episode.
Boop boop. All right, we're ready. We're ready to dive into this thing. It's okay not to be okay. But first, and let's shout out LaQuanza. Great evening, niece. Great evening.
Hey.
How are you? All right, let's jump into this thing, because we read about the themes, we read all about what it was that mental health mean, when it was started, and things like that. But just think about a time when your back was against the wall and you just was like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I turn? Have you ever found yourself in a place where you said, okay, well, it's nothing else that I can do, either therapy, or I'm going to go ahead and talk to God about this thing?
Yes, both.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your situation, I think you can't handle the situation on your own. I don't think
Mm.
anybody can handle the situation on their own, although they think they can, but they can't. There may be something that you're dealing with that you just can't seem to figure it out for yourself, or just handle it for yourself, and you don't feel comfortable enough to go seek help or to talk to someone else. So your first initial thing is to have that one-on-one time with God to see if
Yeah.
He can guide you in the right direction. And then also, as a reinforcer, you would seek counseling through someone else if you feel comfortable.
See, that's
But
the thing, if you feel comfortable. And in our community, that wasn't taught to us. It
right.
was just like you deal with it basically, or what happens here stays here. But now that it is such a thing,
Hmm.
mental health, and I know plenty of times when my back was against the wall, it was nothing that I knew that I can do. Like, sometimes when you without God, you think it's you that's doing it, but you're not. It's Him that's working things out in the background. But it's just that when you're back up against that wall, boy, and you just be like, oh my God, where do I turn? What do I do? You know, some may not know how to go and seek professional help or even
Mhm.
feel comfortable enough to talking to God, because I know it's times where I know that I wasn't right and I was afraid to go before God because I know what I was doing. So think about how so many others is like that, but God opens up the door for us to come on in. He's gonna, yes, he sees what we do, but at the same time he gonna love on us, and then we have a chance to get that thing right. What do you think about that?
I agree. Um, and sometimes when we're going through what we're going through, we seem to question God.
Oh, now that's the truth. Oh,
Why me? Why me? Why are you doing it to me? What did I do to deserve
mm,
this? So it
mm,
all depends upon the person and their faith walk with God.
yep.
Because you're not supposed to, well, we were taught, you're not supposed to question God. Everything happened, what happens for a reason. It had to happen. So,
Wow.
you know, I think it all just depends upon the individual
Yeah,
person
yeah,
and
yeah.
and how they choose it, because everybody's standards and status, they were raised different under different rules, under different things. So
Yeah.
it all depends. But the
But
older
see,
you get and you start developing your own relationship with God and start dealing with yourself,
mm,
then you know how to, deal with certain circumstances or situations once they arise.
absolutely. Yes, Ari D said we were told we don't need therapy, we need Jesus. Yeah, and some still say that today, Ari. They still say that today. Yes, you do need Jesus, and Jesus also provided us with wisdom to seek professional help if need be.
I think we
And
need both.
yeah, definitely. Sometimes we definitely do need both.
Hmm.
Blessed day, superstar. Blessed day, Miss Barbara Bowie. But yes, it's like, but what you said though, you said something so profound. You said the upbringing could be different. And see, that's a lot of times where we don't understand other people, because guess what? Your upbringing may be way different than mine, but here it is, we think one is wrong when they have a different viewpoint than what we have. And that's not so. It's how you were raised. And you
Hmm.
can't, again, you can't just so quickly be to judge someone just because they don't have the same view as you. I have a shirt that says I have Jesus and a therapist. Yep. Yeah,
Amen. I need that shirt.
right, right, right. So we could go ahead and introduce our beautiful guest for tonight, Sissy.
We have a mental health advocate that will be joining us tonight, and her name is Miss Natasha Pierre. With over 20 years of experience in providing coaching, training, and development in individuals, small businesses, and corporations, Natasha has successfully assisted audience across the country with establishing clarity, developing strategy, and executing boldly in their personal and professional lives. Her relatability style has allowed her to connect with global audiences to share her stories of resilience, reinvention, and living each day with purpose, consciousness. I'll introduce to some and present to others Miss Natasha Pierre.
Welcome, welcome, welcome,
Hi,
Queen.
it's good to see you
Hello.
all.
Good to see
It's
you
good to see
again,
you.
pretty in pink.
Yes, 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 yes. I've got my pink on today. Mm-hmm.
All right, all right,
Woo!
all right. So how are
Happy
you?
Monday to I am doing well. I have been chewing on everything that I heard from the tailgating tea. So it's about coming up in what, 2 weeks now? Oh yeah. Focus on your
Okay.
why. Remember your identity, being beyond just an athlete, and we can apply that to any industry that you're in. Oh yeah, I've been chewing on it. I've been chewing on it. I haven't let that go. I'm not done with it yet.
It was some good food for the soul. It definitely was some good food for the soul. But tonight our topic is it's okay not to be okay. And with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, we just want to go ahead and dive into that. But let's go ahead and see what Miss Barbara Bowie has to say really quick. She says, I definitely believe you can question God. You just have to be ready. Ooh, that is the truth. You have to be ready for his answer. Yes, no, or wait. That is so true. Good evening, trees. They said when you ask God for something, you better be, and she said it right here, you better be ready, because sometimes it's not going to be what we want to hear, but it's basically what we need. And we asked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it may not even come in the form of how, again, like back to the basics. It may not come in the form that we want it to, but he gonna give it to you what you need. Definitely that.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
yeah. So what do you think about it's okay not to be okay, Natasha?
I think that phrase, it's okay not to be okay, is the answer that someone needs to hear, because they've held themselves to a standard of perfection. They have extreme expectations for them that go beyond the realms of just being human. And we know that we're spirits and we live in a body, we get it. But because you're in this body, you're going to be subject to some human things. And it's okay for that human body, that human vessel, to feel like it's a lot. This is heavy. I need to take a break. And so for everyone who, sometimes there's a time to push through and keep going, and there's a time to rest. And I think that it's okay to not be okay is a permission that we all need to sometimes just rest. Just take a break, take a nap, eat a Snickers, rewind a little bit. Instead of keeping going, it's like sometimes we got to get back to basics. That's what I'm doing this week. Back to basics, foundational things. Last night, actually, I was like, I haven't said the Our Father prayer in a while. Let me say that. And
Wow.
I got stuck. And I was like, what comes after this? I'm like, Natasha, really? You've been saying this since you were a child. But I'm getting back to basics, because sometimes we need to remember foundational things so that we can reset for the next chapter. And that's where I am.
Yeah, that's good though. Even Ebony spoke about that, and I can't wait. We're not supposed to touch tailgate and tea time. We're supposed to wait for that. One of the things that she said though is she get her rest. She take her naps, and I don't even know what a nap is, to be honest with you. When I got back here, I think the second day, I want to say, my body crashed. I crashed on the couch. I don't even know how I made it to the bed. I was just done, But the thing about it is, like you said, you definitely have to get back to the basics. And the number one thing you said is, when we try to be so perfect, we beat ourselves up so much because we put these high expectations on us. And again, like you said, we're human. Things are gonna happen, mistakes are gonna be made, but at the end of the day, you have to show up as a person and not as somebody that's trying to be perfect.
That perfection.
And not only that, I don't think we only.
What you say, sis?
I say not only that, I don't think we only put high expectations on ourselves. People put high expectations on us based upon our children.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
So that alone is stressful.
Very.
I have your mind going in so many different directions because you're just trying to be you. But then you have this person on this side saying, well, why you doing this? Basically because I'm me. and I can do it.
And you was you before.
Right. But when your child is in a different profession and they're doing what they're doing, they expect us to change the way from us doing what we're doing.
Yep.
So that can be very, very, very stressful. And sometimes it can be intimidating.
I'm glad that you spoke on that, Sissy, because sometimes we try to be so careful with what we say here, but the thing about it is, this is what's needed. Because at the end of the day, we were who we were before we even God loaned us those children, and not just that, the expectations that they put on us. The thing about that too, it brings so much more stress because we have other children. You understand? So I had a situation where something was given to me, and I'm like, okay, I have 2 kids. My thing is, don't leave the other out. So that could bring another stress because that kid or those kids could feel left out because they feel like the other sibling is getting so much more love or whatever it may be. But in reality, and I'm going to tell you something, people, in reality, they love you while you're playing. They love you while you're making this. I don't even say while you're playing, but they love you while you're making this. But the moment you fall off or you make a mistake, they throw you under the bus. It's just like, okay, but at the end of the day, you have to also know, my biggest thing is why you going through this and your son is Alan Hurns. What? Exactly. My money is not Alan Hurns' money. That's just my son. And this is one of the things that people have to know. Our money is not our son's money. What they choose to do is not on us. That's what they choose to do at the end of the day. But when you have folk around, like, I can't believe, you may hit a hard time. I know I have.
We all have.
But then
we all have.
But the thing about it is, well, why are you going through that? And your son, first of all, because like Sissy said, I'm me. I've always been a go-getter, and I'm going to try to get it. I'm getting a little ghetto here, y'all. I'm going to try to get it from the muscle every time. I'm not going to go to him and run to him because at the end of the day, that's his. He said himself, whatever you want to do outside of that. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. But for people to put that on us like that, that is so unfair. And it's very disheartening. And like you said, it's very stressful. Very, very stressful. I didn't know I said perfect role model too. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you don't sign up for it. It's put on us. If you are celebrity adjacent, and by celebrity, that's pro athlete, that's acting, that's music industry. If you are celebrity adjacent, people put an expectation on you to be, do, act, have certain things in a certain way. And when you don't conform to their expectations, they put that pressure on you. It's also parents. Parents have an expectation. If you have a certain industry, you're supposed to be doing this. And that's why it's so important to have friends that know you, that get you. So they're not having these pressures from people close to you because it's exhausting.
Very.
I may appear perfect. We may appear for this, little broadcast. We did our makeup, did our hair, did everything. Yeah. But right after this, we may go collapse on the couch because we're tired. We're human. And I don't know why people keep forgetting that we're human too.
Yeah.
So we feel. I don't. Listen, that statement was for me. It's okay to not be okay. Now that's for me. That's where I am.
Look what Ari said. My new favorite is when I go out to eat with people and everyone looks around lost when the bill comes, waiting on me to pay. Woo!
Ari, this is what you do the next time. You start looking around too.
You start looking lost.
Look lost too. We'll just be all lost together.
In the beginning. And in the beginning, you make your decision when everyone sits and they're taking the drink orders. You make up your mind right then. Am I going to be the person that pays for everyone tonight, or am I just paying for myself? And if it's only you, start with, "Hi, thank you. I'll take a Sprite and separate checks for everyone." Listen. I'm no longer going to be measured and have my heart measured by what people expect me to do. I'm going to be obedient. If God tells me pay for everyone, I'll pay for everyone. But if that's not my assignment tonight, ain't nobody going to guilt me into doing it. I'm just not going to do it.
That's true.
No, but that also will help you determine your circle.
That's it
Yes.
right there. That's
Yeah.
it right there. But and the thing is, it's okay. Like, okay, we may go out and Sissy may have it one time. I may have it another time, and it's just switch. But when it's on the same person all the time, yeah, you already know what time it is. You already know what the people are around for. And
Mhm.
this is the biggest thing, though. Yeah, everybody looking around like, they don't know what's going on, knowing that the bill is here. But you could be done told them people yes millions of times. But this particular night, you telling them, okay, well, I got the bill for me tonight. You guys have to handle your bill. You're gonna be the worst person in the world. They gonna throw you up under the bus. They just gonna really just listen. I don't have time for you because guess what? What we talked about, healthy boundaries. That's a boundary right there.
Healthy
Because at
boundaries.
the end of the day, if we're and then this would make it so bad. They go and they order top notch stuff, thinking that is so you. Isn't that something?
I don't have any people like that in my orbit anymore, and I'm
Mm,
grateful. I realize that sometimes people want to hitch their wagon to yours because they're looking for a come up in whatever way that they can. And whether
yeah.
that is being adjacent to the fame that you're adjacent to, being adjacent to your fame, your status, just being in a circle and connected to the people who you know, whatever it is. And I don't fault people for doing that. I
Mhm.
fault people for the motive behind it because I'm a
Right.
giver. I'm going to tell you where I get my lashes, where I get my hair. I'm going to tell you and give you everything.
We're no
But at the
gatekeepers over
moment
here.
wait, but the moment I feel that it's usury, now that's an issue for me. The moment I feel that there's no gratitude, that there's no appreciation, that's
Mm,
when that's when it becomes a mental health issue for me because I can't sit with knowledge and I need to have authentic, pure
peace.
circles. I gotta have that. And so my boundary is if you disturb my peace, it's a cut off. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not wondering, should I maybe? God will have to tell me, don't cut them off yet. And that has happened. But usually I'm like, I'm not doing this because I got too much living as Natasha. You have too much
Um,
living as Erica and Sandra. And people don't see, all they see is, well, that's your son.
yeah,
You're on TV every day. You're this. Your son goes. That's all they see. They're not seeing your other children, your other responsibilities, your grandchildren, your business, your health, your life. They're not seeing all of that. And I can't live my life for how everybody sees me.
that's true. You said your business. I noticed that, I mean, my business is not for profit, but Sissy has two businesses. Well, one business and
Mhm.
one, but she do the shoes and then she do the decor. My thing is a lot of times when she reach out to people or people reach out to her to do things for them, they're expecting a discount, right? But the thing about it is they're feeling like, what, you don't need this because of who your son is.
Yeah.
I personally would think just because of who her son is, that she would be able to get the sales and get the jobs, especially in
Mhm.
decor. I mean, her shoes is phenomenal as well, too. I'm sure you saw them, Natasha. But the thing about it is, you would think that that will grasp people more because of who, um, you know, our sons are connected to. But the thing about it is, we want the celebrity, the people with big numbers to do our decor or do. There's no way, and there's no way possible that it should be that hard for her to get some of her son's friends' business.
Mhm.
It's hard because of how people see you. And that is something that I've dealt with all my life, I think, that I have to wade through people's expectations of me, people's opinions of me
Mm,
in order to get to the truth. Regardless of what you see me doing, who you see me know, what you think I have, regardless of all, at the end of the day, I still feel,
that's
I
right.
still hurt,
That's
I
right.
still
Mhm.
experience life. And I think that it's disingenuous. It's heartless sometimes to expect people to give more than they're willing to give. You know, I'm very protective of my circle, and over the years, I have friends that are athletes, celebrities, etc. And I've had people ask me, "Can you call him or her and ask them to invest in my business?" If I haven't asked them to invest in my business, you think I'm going to bypass me and go to you? Why would I do that? And so, we haven't even touched on mental illness. These are all of the mental health drains and mental health things that deplete us. And it's almost like a pressure cooker that at the end of the day, we're tired and we don't even know why.
No,
but so many people know. We've had to, you send out your proposal, and all of a sudden people think you shouldn't be charging that much because you on TV all the time, or because you're what does that have to do with a service? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, not just that. My thing is, why waste one time to call up someone and you ask them, okay, I understand, granted, you shopping around. Granted, I get that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, as I was staring with Sissy one time, I was walking through the airport, and this nurse, she nearly ran me down about my Crocs that Sissy made for me. So I gave her the information. She went on Instagram. I say, Sissy, did you hear from the lady? Nope. My thing is, why do all of that, knowing that you're not going to solicit the business? Like, just don't waste your time and don't waste hers either, or mine, because I'm the one, you're asking me questions. But the thing about it is, too, you're calling up and you see her work. The work speaks for itself. But my thing is, why is it that you're gonna? Oh well, okay. Can I get back to you? Granted, okay. But then just because of price that you heard, oh. All right, then you just don't hear from the person anymore.
And it's back to boundaries. I tell years ago, I used to take people's information and I would call them and I would reach out. I changed that several years ago. If you want me, if you want to connect with me, this is my information, you reach out. And you're going to reach in the way it works for me, which means you're going to put some time on my calendar. And we're going to have a formal meeting, and you're going to send it in. And I do it that way because I've had so many instances where people have monopolized my time with stuff that it's almost like an intrusion onto my time and my space and my mind. And then after I'm depleted, like, what just happened? What was that? So now I've set boundaries so that if you're serious about me, then you'll put some time on my calendar, you'll send the agenda. And for the people who don't, perfect. No harm, no foul. Because I'm going to watch my TV show and relax, and it's going to be okay. But boundaries are one of the ways that I maintain my mental health and my peace.
So would you say you would think, like we do, I know now that they have these 15 minutes or 30 minutes consultations, right? Some people actually charge for their consultations. So what is a way that basically Sissy can do when people are calling her? What would you suggest that she can do as far as when they're calling up? Maybe she should give them a 15-minute consultation. Or like, how is it that she could benefit from the people that's calling in her time? Because we all know that time is something that you can't get back.
Absolutely. I love Calendly, because you can schedule 50, 30 minute, 90 minute, whatever consultation, and you can put it behind a paywall. I do 15-minute consultations because that's 7 minutes of you talking and telling me what the problem is, and 7 minutes of me telling you how I could possibly be a solution for you or not. After 15 minutes, then we can talk about payment. There are some calls, especially if I'm dealing with someone who is living with a mental illness, or if God tells me to, I will send them the link for 30 minutes. And I know that I'm on assignment. Doesn't mean that it's free, but it means an assignment in that 30 minutes, and then whatever happens after that happens. But I lean so heavily on discernment that, because I've watched what happened to my life, my time, my emotions, by not being selective with who has access to me. This is why I have these boundaries. Because takers will rarely tell you when not enough. They will take until you have nothing left and then judge you because you don't have anything.
That's
Sandra
true.
used
Wow.
she used to have so much. She used to have this. Well, you took it all. You took it all. So now I have boundaries, parameters. You got to go through the chain link electric fence, past the 3 Dobermans and pit bulls, then the moat with the alligators to get to me, because I have to have something left for me.
Yeah.
I have to. I have depleted and burned out myself enough in my life, and then been judged for my mental, physical, emotional state, that now, if you get to me, like, I do not disturb settings on my phone, I've got several, there are only certain people that can come through that. When I have a 100% do not disturb, that's my time. And anything else, I'll see it when, I turn it off. But we got to have it because we need to be replenished too.
Right.
We can't have everyone on our to-do list and then we scrolling, and we're number 1,999 on our to-do list. We'll never get there. So I prioritize time for myself.
Well, that's a good thing. So, Sissy, how do you think like you can wean out? Because see, the thing is, I think too, that's how you wean out people that's not serious, that really want to get things done. So, what do you think like you can do as a business owner? Because you have some great things going on. What do you think like you could do moving forward that you can wean out these people who just I call it just want to play, to me, because
Implement what Natasha said.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to
And you can even ask
implement it.
questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Questions like, are you ready? Do you have an event in mind? How soon is your event? What is your budget? That what is your budget question, that makes people run. And that's what you want. Because people who aren't afraid of talking about money will say, my budget is between 1 and 5,000. My budget is between 10 and 17, 5. Perfect.
Right.
So I know what I'm working with. People shy away from the money conversation. I'm shying away from you because we all need money. Let's not pretend that we can pay, our cell phone and mortgage and car note with great job. That's so beautiful. Bravo. This is so pretty. That's not currency. We need cash. So let's talk about it.
And
Right.
another thing I think you can do too is, say for instance, like put contracts in place. Like if someone came and they tell you, okay, well, they solidify you just by word of mouth. They solidify like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, right? Okay, so now let me get. It don't have to be. Do it have to be a long drawn out contract or something to just kind of bind them in? Like if you cancel, because I know that it takes time, and not just time. It takes things to get prepared to do the event or even to do the shoes. So is it some kind of contract, like a deposit you could ask them for?
I do.
Okay, so you
I
can
ask
ask them
for a deposit. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
100%.
So, and then that thing is like, if they were to back out, that's non-refundable, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
see, that's my
Professional people and people with integrity aren't afraid of deposits and contracts.
right.
That's why I use them. Because that's just life. No matter what you do, you're going to have a deposit or a contract. So if you would do a deposit, if you're purchasing a cake from, some celebrity baker, then when you go to your neighbor and she has a deposit, why are you complaining? That's an integrity and character issue for me. If you have a issue attitude with me having a contract and requesting a deposit, that's a red flag for me. That's almost a deal breaker, because that you're telling me that I'm going to have problems with you in the future. You're telling me that on the onset, we don't have the same values. So why would I enter into business, into an agreement with someone who is on the onset letting me know that they have an issue valuing my time, my energy, my lived experience, my work? You know what? I can refer you out. I may know some other people. And sometimes I won't refer you because I'm not going to let you be any of my friends' headache.
Oh,
If you're not going to work for me, I wish I would. I wish I would refer someone to either of you, and I know that they're a problem. If I do, I'm going to give you the backstory. Why? Because I value my tribe. And if you're going to come into my tribe, you're not going to come in and be a headache to anyone in my tribe. I sooner let you go.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like peace.
That's good. But okay,
I
so
like
now
peace.
since you had some, you were saying something, Sissy?
No, I was going to ask Natasha a question. Go ahead.
No, go. Go.
No, I was going to ask, what is do you think is the number one trigger for mental health?
It depends on the person. It depends on the person. And when you, the older you get, the more mature you get, there are more things that you have overlooked and forgot.
Suppress.
So in this season of my life, I'm recognizing that the mental health challenges that I'm dealing with. This isn't diagnosis, this isn't illness. This is just mental health challenge, things that frustrate me, annoy me, cause me frustration, cause me stress.
Wow.
Is I have very clear boundaries for people in my life, very clear. But then when some people have a certain title, if they are, your friend from high school, if they're family, etc., I have been giving them a pass on bad behavior because of the title. But what that does is it creates cognitive dissonance because you are desiring one thing with all of your being over here, but you're letting some things slide that hurt you over here. That's not mental illness. You just have to tighten up your boundaries so that it's consistent throughout your life. There is family stress, there is work stress, there's children, relationship, just life stress. There could be stress for your commute. And these are things that we often overlook because we're like, oh, life is lifing. Well, if we let things go for too long, then we're looking for things to cope. Some people turn to alcohol, some people turn to substances, they're watching TV, scrolling social media, then they may be going out, then they're doing things to deal with a pain and heaviness and a weight. And instead of just addressing it, they're looking for things to alleviate the pain.
Right.
So there's no one thing that people
Right.
are dealing with. I think collectively as a nation, we need to rest. We need rest. We
But
haven't caught up, rest from the pandemic.
and then too, we need to heal. We need to heal because you could be in an adult body, but that 9 or 10-year-old girl or that 9 or 10-year-old boy or that younger boy or that younger girl needs to be healed, even though you're an adult. Because guess what? Like you said, you don't suppress those things. So now, if you had some trauma in your life when you was a child, and it never got dealt with, you have triggers from it, right? And then now that you're an adult, people say, oh, well, you know better, you do better. But the thing about it is it still hurt because I never healed. It was just suppressed. Or what? Don't you talk about that, because what happened here stays here. You know what I'm saying? So now you have this little girl inside of you or this little boy inside of you that need that healing. So guess what happens? Things surface, and now things start to replay. Now you're starting to think about all of those things that transpired back in your childhood, your teenage years, whatever. But the thing about it is, if that child don't get healed, that adult is going to get broken. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And that's
But
just
how but how would one deal with that if
deal.
how would one deal with their mental challenges?
Like as a
if
far
they're
from
not a huh?
you saying
No,
far
I'm
from
saying, how would one deal with that if they're not a person that has faith? Because for us, we would say, talk to God, pray about it. But how would someone else
who
who
don't.
does not have faith deal with that?
See, that's the thing though. I can speak from both aspects because I got saved when I was later on in my life, you know.
Mhm.
So when the trauma and stuff was transpiring, you don't know where to turn. See, that's why you turn to retail therapy, eating disorder, drinking, smoking, whatever it may be. That's what you turn to be able to
Yeah.
suppress those things, right? So it's only when, like you said, we know better now because we know God, but knowing God, something still hurt. It's just that. And at the end of the day, it's just that. We're still human. That flesh still rise. But it's only when you don't begin to seek the help that you need from, thank you. We have to, first of all, we have to address stuff when it happens. Don't let it linger on. That's the best thing I can say. That's it. That's what just dropped in my spirit. Addressing it then, not letting it go on, because guess what? An idle mind is a devil's workshop. So if you don't address
Mhm.
some things when they happen, you're gonna, especially an overthinker. An overthinker boy gonna woo. They're gonna tear themselves up, and they're gonna tear anybody that come in their path up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, you have to again address the things when they happen. That's again what dropped in my spirit. But it's not gonna say
I
that
don't know.
it's
I
hard.
don't
It
know.
is.
I don't know how people do life without faith. I don't know,
Yeah,
because there are
especially
some things in my life that I have to suspend my humanness.
yeah,
I have to suspend and suppress my human mind from thinking about it, only lean on faith to deal with it, because it's that painful and it's that hurtful.
yeah,
And to Eric's point, when you don't address something in the moment that it happens, and it could be a word, a name, anything that you're calling your family or your friend group, or an event, an experience that you have, and we don't address it and begin that healing at ground zero on day
right.
one, it continues to fester and fester and fester, and now there's layers and layers on top of that trauma. And 10 years later, when you finally decide, okay, this is hurting me enough and it's making me uncomfortable enough that I want to deal with. Well, now you've got to dig through 10 years, all of
Yes,
the things that you put on top of it to hide the pain. It's like if you get cut and you don't go for your stitches, and you just keep bandaging it up and the blood keep coming through, and you just keep, eventually we're gonna have to unravel all of that to get to the wound. And we're seeing with a lot of adults, especially when they're coming into the workplace, they're bringing their personal wounding into the workplace. And that's why they're nasty. That's why they're cantankerous. That's why they're, sarcastic and sharp and curt and biting and misogynist and all the other is. That's
belittling,
because they're not
belittling.
dealing with their stuff.
Yeah,
And that's what people need to, I don't care how long you try to dodge, bob and weave, swerve away from the things that hurt you.
yeah,
Eventually it's coming up, and it's coming up to go out. And if you don't allow it to come up and address it, and you keep allowing it to fester, it's going to derail your life. And
yeah,
derail could be ruined relationships,
yeah.
mental illness, just rock bottom. It could be anything. So we have to,
Self-sabotaging. Yeah,
can't run from it. We got to deal with it.
yeah.
So how,
Mhm.
and I'm asking because
Mhm.
as adults, okay, I think we know, how we can maneuver and deal with certain things that arise with us. But as a teen, as
Mm-hmm,
a young adult,
mm-hmm.
uh, a high schooler, how would you help that person who's dealing with mental challenges?
Well,
The,
as a child,
no, go ahead,
hearing,
Erica.
I think with that hearing, don't see a lot of times when we have conversations, open dialogue with people, we're listening to respond. We said that we're listening to respond, but you have to listen to that child, because that child wants to gain what he wants to be able to, he or she wants to be able to gain that they could trust. Now you're somebody, a safe place. Thank you. It's the safe place. They want to feel like you're a safe place, right? So what you have to do is basically listen to that child, and then the thing is, we have to allow the Holy Spirit or discernment to kick in when to speak. So sometimes we can speak out of place and it can end up damage the child more. Or, but just basically hearing, that's what I would think. Just listening to them. And if it's something that needs to be addressed with their parent or their guardian, then you know that you have to do it. And then guess what's going to happen? That trust definitely going to go out the window. But it's something that you felt like you had to say, because if you miss that, guess what? That blood is on your hand. So what would you say, Natasha?
It's the first thing is safe space and safe place. When I don't have children, I tell people I don't have children because I'm talking to yours, because yours is messaging me on Instagram. I tell parents, when you need to have a heavy conversation with your child, take it outside of the home, because the home is the parent's turf. That's the parent's domain. So go for a walk, go to a restaurant, go to a beach, go, to a park, and have that conversation where it's neutral territory, and start there. If you don't establish yourself, if you're a parent, you don't establish yourself as a safe place for your child is find a safe place elsewhere. They're going to be talking to whomever will listen. If you don't listen, and many times, unfortunately, parents are their child's first bully, because they're not, like you mentioned, they're not listening to hear. They're listening to respond. They're listening because they got something else to say. Well, how do you feel? Well, why do you think this? And then parents need to even be aware of the dynamics between their children. Yeah. All children are not the same. I don't care if they have the same mother and father. It doesn't matter. They're not the same child. And so what one child may be sensitive to, another one will just have it roll off their back. But when a child tells you something hurts them, that's not an opportunity for you to say, suck it up, it's not a big deal, they were only joking. No, hear what they said. That hurt me. If you don't address that in that moment, you have just said to your child, I am not safe because I don't hold your feelings in high enough esteem to address it. And so be counted out for any future conversations. For children right now, in this year, I've seen a lot of children dealing with anxiety and depression. Yeah. I think the anxiety is coming from two things. One, our world is different, our schools are different, there's a lot more to fear. That's a fact. That's just what it is. I also see anxiety coming, in my opinion, from overstimulation through our gadgets. So the cell phone, the tablets, all of the things that we have that's dinging, blinging, changing colors, rapid over the screen. There's no time for us just to sit still, and breathe and relax. So at the time when we actually have to sit still, we don't know how to respond to that, because we've had our face in our phone or laptop or TV for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So sitting still feels foreign. That's why so many people had a problem during the pandemic. I can't go to work. I can't go to the store. I can't go to Starbucks. I can't go here. I'm just home. I don't know what to do with this stillness. Yeah. So we have to be proactive in ensuring that we are separating our children and ourselves from devices and learning to sit with feelings, learning to sit with hard things, learning to sit with discomfort. I tell parents all the time, I promise you, your child is not going to die if you take away the games.
Well, hold on, Natasha. Wait 1 second. Because it's been some instances. No, it's been some instances where these kids have killed their parent because they wouldn't let them have the cell phone, or they wouldn't give them the Nintendo, whatever that thing called. So it have been some instances where that had, that took place. But the thing about it is, like you said, you have to have that safe space with your child. And it's hard to have, especially when you have multiple kids, because you're
Multiple.
trying to show love to each and everyone. And the thing about it is we have to understand too, people love languages because each child may have a different love language. And they may be looking for something that you think you're giving them. I'm showing you that I love you. I may not be saying it. Some child may need you to say it, and you
Right.
don't say it. And
Yeah.
it's only when you have those hard
Mm.
conversations. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, and oh, they don't feel good, but they're needed. And I think when you have the hard conversations, that's when the healing can begin to take place. Because guess why? I can't tell Natasha or Sandra what hurt you all. You can tell me what hurt you, but I can't tell you what hurt you. So I may have done something to hurt you, but you need to let me know. And the thing about it is, what we don't do, we sit on it, and then when it builds up, it just spills out so wrong, right? But
Yeah.
then when we have these things with our children, and I was guilty of it. Like my child or my children would tell me something that I basically did, and guess what I'll say? Oh, yeah, I admit that I did it, but what will I do afterwards? Oh, well, you don't remember what led up to that? I just negated whatever I just agreed to and
Mhm.
admitted to, that went out the window because guess what? I'm trying to justify it
Yes.
Right.
instead of
Yes.
just taking it. This is what you did to me, Ma. Or this is how you made me feel, Ma. Listen, don't listen to respond. When that healthy boundary thing came up, I was like, how dare you? Like, I know, listen, I'm your mother. I know. You keep living. That's what, and my mom did it to me. So that's the thing we have to do, break those cycles too. Keep living.
Absolutely.
Keep living. So
Absolutely.
that's what I tell them. But the thing about it
Right.
again, we can't say what hurt another person. We can't.
You
They could tell
can't.
nothing,
And you
just
don't
watch
get
it.
to also dictate how someone heals after you
Right.
hurt them. So
Can't.
with parents, if your child tells you something that you did to hurt them, that's not your cue to tell them why it's not a big deal or why they're overreacting, why they're so sensitive. That's not your cue to do it. That's for you to hear, own it,
And
apologize, and then said,
yeah,
okay, what can we do to move forward?
yeah.
Because there's so many adults walking around with layers and layers of anger and frustration at their parents because of things that happened when they were 6. Because I
Again,
told you I wanted to play basketball, but you put me in track. I told you that I wanted to play piano, but you gave me cello.
yeah.
I told you the teacher was being mean to me, and you told me that's just what school is. You didn't hear me. So now when I'm 40 and I have my kids, and you decided you want to bond with me and you want me to talk, we have no history. We have no
Jesus.
history of you listening to me. So why would I talk to you now? You have not demonstrated yourself as a safe space and safe place. So I don't have any practice, I don't have any muscle coming to you. I don't. So parents were like, now go to the grandchildren. Your children are watching you love their children and wondering, why couldn't I get that?
What?
Why couldn't I get that attention from you?
Yeah.
Why couldn't I get that you did a good job and wow, I'm so proud of you and just look at you, you look so pretty today, and you're so smart. Why did it have to skip me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something as painful and as ugly as it is and
Yes, it is.
hurtful.
And look what
But
Ari said. My mother will only apologize if something offended you, never for saying what was offensive. And this is what happens way too often. If you say something that hurt you, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or you took it the wrong way, or you're just too sensitive. Why you acting like that? But the thing about
Absolutely.
it is, you can't tell me what hurt me. It's only when
It
you can
hurt
hold
me.
yourself, exactly. It's only when you can be able to hold yourself accountable for what you did, even if you thought that you didn't do it. But if that person told you that that's what you did, why be on the defense about it?
Mhm.
It's
And
a
you can stand 10 toes down. You,
yeah,
as a parent and as a human, you can stand 10 toes down on what you said.
right.
And you've also got to stand 10 toes down on whatever consequences may come
That come
from
behind it.
people stepping back from you
Yeah.
and saying, you know what? I got you. You don't feel you have anything to apologize for? Okay. So when I
Mhm.
pull away, when I pull back, don't ask me why, because I tried to engage you. And so, sometimes, a couple years ago, I did a video about ghosting, and I said ghosting is okay. And people were like, what do you mean by that? I said, when you are a person who goes to another and desires to have a conversation to discuss what has transpired, when you are the person that's constantly reaching out to address something, and you're constantly met with, oh, it's not a big deal, you're making too much out of it, I'm only going to speak so much before I back away and I fade to black. Because what's not going to happen is I am not going to allow someone to make me love them and be present for them through things they refuse to confront. I've told you about mouth several times. I've told you that when you speak to me really, really harsh, and there's a bite and a sarcastic tone, and it really bothers me. I've said that to you several times. So this last time that you did it, I was like, I'm not talking anymore. I just backed away. I blessed you with my absence because I'm doing what's best for me. Because
Right.
I'm tired of being uncomfortable so that the people who make me uncomfortable get to be comfortable. I'm not doing
Right.
that.
And that's good. That is good that you said that, because it's not just with our children, it's in any type of ships that we may deal with, right?
Mhm.
And this is another thing too. Like, we have to understand, like, some people may not know how to express themselves, right? And some may choose not to express themselves. You understand? Because guess what? They may be not as comfortable with you as you think that they are or should be.
Mhm.
And that's okay
Mhm.
too. But in the midst of that, the thing is, you have these type of relationships, you want a safe space, period. And if you can address some things right then and there, if the person said, okay, well, yeah, you did this to me, or I was acting this way, or whatever it is that they may say to you that you did and they see, maybe that person sees something that you don't see. So, but
True.
this is the thing though. If you take accountability and you say, okay, well, I'm sorry, my apologies, move on from it. Why are you going to sit and hold it? You see what I'm saying? Why keep dwelling on what was said and negate the fact that the person owned it? And I think this is a lot of times why people don't own things, because they don't want to be beat up about it. Just like when you have a
Yeah.
person that may want to come to Christ, you don't want to go and beat the people up with the word. You just don't.
No.
You want to be inviting. You know what I'm saying? So if you took accountability for it, stop holding people to things that they have apologized for. Get up, get over it, and move on. Because if you don't, you can say I'm sorry, but the minute one thing happened, oh well, I remembered. If you say you forgave
And this-
me, you forgave me. But the thing is, we don't talk about things anymore. We let it happen, we let it linger, and then we what? Like you say, we go ghost, or we feel some type of way. And it shouldn't be. Have those hard conversations, not just with parents and children. Have hard conversations as people. Because if you in a relationship with someone and you want it to work, communication is the biggest key. It's the
I
biggest.
think I think that for communication is key. I think that when there's disagreements, for me, I always think of the relationship and how much do I value this relationship. If
Right.
I never spoke to this person again, would I be okay with that? The answer is no, that I'm going to take steps to mend it,
Right.
because there are people in my life that have disconnected from me or pulled back, and I'm like, let's odd. And because I value them, I reach out like, hey, I noticed that, we're not connected on Facebook anymore. Or, I feel that you've kind of pulled back from me. Is there something that I did or said that offended you? I ask, I value the relationship and the connection. Now, if I don't value it, you could do whatever you want. I think what's also important is that even when a person apologizes, they cannot dictate how long it takes me
to get over
feel my emotions. Because the moment you apologize, my spirit has accepted it. We're good. And I still have a human memory and human emotions, and I've got to get over the sting. And sometimes it's instant, and sometimes I've got to ask God to help to heal my heart, to erase the sting of that experience and memory, so that we can be in relationship again. And sometimes when I forgive you, it's not a reconnection. It is, I forgive you, and you can stay over there. Because I'm not giving you another opportunity to hurt me.
And Kelly said it best on the crap, the show about the crap mentality, right? She was saying that it's okay if you're not friends, but we don't have to be enemies. It's okay for that too, but the thing is communication, having those hard conversations, and it's having the hard conversation with the person and not the people, because on the outside world, we're going to make some upset with the one that we should have had the conversation with. And that's not fair. I was telling God just the other day, I was like, Lord, I wish you would let me just speak. Like really speak, because I know that I take it on the head for a lot of people, and I don't expose anybody. I just let it go. Yeah, you think that? Okay, whatever. I'll take it. But I was telling God, like, I'm tired at this point. Let me just speak. And God says, no. He said, I got this. Like, vengeance is mine, but at the end of the day, I want to be open and honest with people. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I'm not going to be rude about it. And if you say that I did something, I'm woman enough to say, okay, yes, I did that. And again, like I made that mistake with my children, that I did. But if you call me on something, I'm not going to gaslight it. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't say again what hurt you. But we're not going to be in a screaming match going backwards and forth. I used to do that. No, I'm not doing it. Okay, whatever. Either I'm going to say okay, or either I'm going to laugh, because at the end of the day, I don't want to say anything to hurt, especially if I care for you. Now, if I care for you, I don't want to say anything to potentially harm our relationship, because guess why? If I say something, we know that words what? Sometimes it's very, very hard to heal from. I'd rather somebody knock me upside my head than say something, to hurt my feelings, because I can. Come on, people. Like, we just really have to start addressing it when it happened. Stop allowing the outside noise to get in our relationships when you care for someone. And this is any type of relationship. I don't care what go and come, but when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to want to say some things. And then when things do air out, and sometimes you don't have to tell nobody, you don't have to remove anybody. They'll remove themselves. Because of what was your motive? What was your intentions? What was your agenda? God deals with why we do things. What was your heart like? What was you seeking out of? Because if one thing, and hear me good, if one thing made you disappear, your motives was never pure. Because I'm not getting what I want.
Connection.
That's it. Because if I'm not getting what I want, and if it's not working out to what it is, and you disappear, that was too easy. You was looking for a reason out, or your motives wasn't right. You wanted what you wanted, and when it wasn't given, you gone. Why is that possible?
I've learned to let people have their way. If you feel the need to disconnect, I trust you. I trust that you know what's best for you. And I'm not going to try to convince you that I'm a good person. I'm not going to try to convince you that I had your best interest at heart, because I know me. I know that I engage with people at the heart level, that I am pure in my desire. I don't want anything from anyone but to see them succeed.
That's
And if
it.
I want something from you, I'm going to tell you upfront so that we're both clear on what it is. So when people have separated themselves from me, the human feels a sting, but my spirit is fine because I know how I engage people. I engage people with love, and I don't want anything from you. I just want you well, and it's okay. So it's hard, and I think sometimes some people, what creates a mental health strain for them is their desire to keep the peace. And because they're strong, they continue to shoulder everything that's being said and dumped on them. And they're like, I can handle it. I can handle it. I got it. I got it. I'm strong. I can push it. And then 10 years later, you got your shoulders are curved because you've shouldered so much that if in a moment you just said, you know what, I don't, please don't call me that. Don't say that to me. I don't like your tone. Can you rephrase that a little bit? Let's talk about what you said, just a little while ago. Because things aren't addressed in the moment, they fester. They fester and they build up. And then when people blow up, they want to talk about that blow up moment, but not all of the things that were done before blow up. So it is the onus is on us. The onus is on the individual to know what is your tap out number. At what point do you need, like, okay, you know what, I need to address this before it becomes injurious to you? At what point are you able to recognize when you're hurt? Wow. There's some people who don't know that they've been hurt because all they know is hurt. All they know is chaos. And so they don't know. And they're like, what? I don't understand why I'm stressed. Let's think about what happened, what was said. Oh, wow. Yeah, they did say that to me and I didn't like it. And I said nothing about it. Mm-hmm. We treat people to teach people how to treat us.
Yeah.
But we also teach people how to treat us based on how we were taught that people should treat us. So at some point, there's an unlearning that has to happen. That no, I'm not going to keep the peace. I know it's Thanksgiving dinner, but you were out of line with what you said. So come on, let's go in the living room. I need to talk to you real quick.
Exactly.
Confrontational.
Yeah.
Let's address this so that next Thanksgiving, we don't have a conflict because I didn't address it this year.
Correct. Mm-hmm. You know what? I even told my children, I'm not forcing anything with you. I'm not forcing anything with anybody, because at the end of the day, when you know that your heart is pure, you're genuine with your motives and things like that, you could be my child. I ain't forcing nothing with you, because at the end of the day, my thing is we should not allow, and we like to blame a lot of stuff on the enemy, and sometimes it is the enemy that come in because that's his job, to steal, kill, and destroy. But we should be able to identify, especially if it's being repeated. Like if the same thing is being repeated, we should be able to identify when he rear his ugly head. So my thing is, with the strong one is not really, the strong one is looked at to be the crazy one. Because guess what? They really don't say much. They just take it on the shoulder and be like, I'll be okay. I'll be good. Knowing in the background you drowning your pillow at night. Knowing in the background you're not sleeping at night. Knowing in the background you're pacing the floor. Come on. But at the end of the day, we'll take it on the chin. Guess why? Because we don't want to talk about it, because we are afraid of hurting other people's feelings. But baby, you're feeling hurt. It's a way to go to somebody and talk to them. You understand? You don't have to go with the hooping and the hollering and being disrespectful. Take that person, like you said, to the side, call them up on the phone, however you may need to do it. Because the Bible tells us if you have that alt against your brother or your sister, you go to them. And then if you can't make it work with them, you take the elders of the church. You understand? And then you try to work on something. But again, you can't just go and take everything on the chin and think that you're not going to be dealing with any type of mental illness. Because guess what's going to come in? Oh, I'm no good. And I said it before. I was like, God, am I just here to make everybody else happy? What about my happiness? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I just here to just take it on the chin and keep what they say, turn your cheek? God, I only got two, God.
I only got two.
I only have two, you know. But at the end of the day, is have those hard conversations. Even
And
when
they're hard to have because
they're
it's
very
scary.
hard. Yeah.
It's
Hard
scary to do the work.
Yeah.
It's scary to confront. It's scary to reach out. It's scary because you risk not having your feelings validated. You risk being gaslit. You risk someone telling you that you're too sensitive. You risk someone saying, "Come on, I was just playing." There's a risk when you step out. But I do it anyway because I'm going to be at peace with me. You don't have to be at peace with me, but I'm going to be at peace with me. And I'm going to do things in the way that I know that they should be done, so that I can say, you know what, I did what I needed to do. And sometimes it is, I know I need to speak to that person. I'm going to let them know that I want to talk to them, but today isn't the day because I'm still hot. I'm still, fish grease.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, and as soon as I calm down my emotions, I'll reach out. I'd like to have the talk. Is that okay? Great. Because every conversation doesn't have to be right now.
No.
We can put a placeholder. We could put a pin in it and say, you know what? I didn't like what you just said, but I'm fired up right now. So today isn't the day. I'm going to reach out to you as soon as I feel better, and we can talk about it. Because I think I think enough of you and our connection for us to address it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like you have to have that cool off period. And I can't remember exactly what Kelly said, but she had a great illustration behind it. And I wish that I could remember it, but I don't. But I know she said something about the 72-hour rule. When you're, especially when something stung you. And I think the biggest stings come from the people that we love the most. Because we feel like they shouldn't do us that way.
But you know better.
But if you begin to have that hard conversation with the person, you will see sometimes it's not what you're even thinking. And when you come out that thing, you all this time, like I was sitting there holding that, and it wasn't even that. Because we choose not to talk about it. We'll say, okay, we're okay. I'll deal with it. It is what it is. That's the favorite line. It is what it is. But no, have them conversations. I don't care who it's with. You and again, listen to the other person. Listen to the other person. Because I know the biggest thing for me is looking for validation. And I'm being honest. I don't care who don't, but I look for validation in the people that I love. I do. I want to hear, you did a great job, or I want to hear that I love you, or, you want to hear, those things, especially from the people that you love. You want to be supported. You want to be the same thing that you give. That's what you want to get. You understand what I'm saying? And if truth be told, that's just what it is. You want it. And I don't know one person that don't want to be told that, you're doing a great job. I tell my wife, we'll talk when she calms down. Yeah.
That's real. That's real talk.
That is awesome. Because the thing is, if you're talking in the heat of the moment, baby, some things are going to come out right. And it could end up being, I tell my wife, we'll talk. Oh, he said, yeah. Yeah, because you end up saying something, and you don't want to end up having to go back and say basically like, I'm sorry for what I said. I was just because sometimes people tell the truth when they mad, when they drunk and they mad.
Raw truth, no Febreze is sprayed on it. It's just coming right out.
It's coming out. Oh, what they say, out the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaking.
Mouth speaks. Yeah. And that's you know, that's real. You shouldn't need an argument. You shouldn't need a blow up in order to share your true feelings. You should have relationships where you can speak openly and candidly about how you feel, and don't need to rely on being drunk or, you know, there being an argument in order for you to say everything that you want to say.
Yeah.
And listen, it's a risk. This is where all of
It
this
is.
is all about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it's scary to be vulnerable because, you
Very.
know, animals, dogs, you know that they're comfortable with you when they lay on back and expose their belly. That's just the animal kingdom, you know, because that's where all their internal organs are. They protect that. And so as an analogy, we basically want to have those relationships where we can expose our underbelly and know that we're not going to be attacked. We can expose, you know, our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, our fears without someone laughing at us and saying, well, that's dumb. You know, why you think like that? You know, grow up. You're too sensitive. Move on. Listen, what a person fears is what they fear.
Right.
If someone tell me they're afraid of spiders, I'm not going to say, well, that's dumb. You're so many times bigger than the spider. Of course, I already know that. But it doesn't negate the fact that I'm afraid of it.
Right.
So when you tell me, what do you have to be afraid of? It's so tiny. You're negating my feelings. You're negating my experience. You have not heard me. You heard what you wanted to hear. And it's a risk when you open up to people like that. And unfortunately, you know, sometimes it's the people closest to you that it can sting when they don't affirm you and validate you and see you for who you are. It can sting.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all, I didn't even know we was we're not way over. We're 23 minutes over. But the conversation is definitely much needed and needed to be had about it's okay not to be okay. And if you ever find yourself in that space of not being okay, we want you guys to know that it's definitely okay. But the thing that you know, we're hoping that one, do not telling anybody what they should do, but the thing that we find that work for us is what we share. But I think one, having those hard conversations, healthy boundaries, you know, stop taking everything too hard. If a person told you that you hurt them, apologize for it, you know, because at the end of the day, we said you can't tell anybody how to feel. You know, you just can't. That's not right. You can't even tell anybody how to heal or their time limit to heal. You just have to be respectful of a person's time to heal, because you don't want that little girl that was never healed showing up in your adult life. Is going to cause some damage, people of God. I'm telling you, it's going to cause some damage. And when you sometimes see that, oh man, she being real childish. Maybe it's that child version that didn't heal, or he being childish. Maybe it's that child version that didn't heal. So you may be absolutely correct in what you're saying, but again, instead of looking at the person, look at who the person is being used by. And that's my little nugget for you guys on tonight. Sissy Sam, what is it that you have to say to the people?
I will say, listen to hear to understand.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
it, Natasha.
I'd say sometimes the question isn't what's wrong with you, but who hurt you or what happened to you.
Yeah.
Because when you know what happened to a person, you can cultivate the empathy necessary to meet them where they are. So it's not what's wrong with you, what happened to you. Let's talk about that. Because people sometimes just want to be seen and just want to know that somebody cares that they hurt. And we have an opportunity to be that person.
Absolutely. And I want to leave you guys with this little saying here, because a lot of times we just close the doors on people that God actually sent to actually help us, or them probably coming to help us, or we to help them, but we end up closing that door. So this is what I want to leave you guys with. Don't close the book when bad things happen in your life. Just turn the page and begin a new chapter. Latoya Jackson said that. At the end of the day, it's not saying that the book has to be closed. Just move to the next chapter. even if the people have walked out, maybe they could come back in another chapter. Who knows? However it may be, but just don't close the book all the way, because we're going to deal with some we're going to deal with some trials. We're going to deal with some bad things that's going to transpire. But how do we deal with them? By having those hard conversations, and number one thing, communication. We love you guys here at It Had to Happen. Mothers of Motivated Sons here with you all tonight with the beautiful Natasha Pierre, and we cannot wait, guys, to show you Tailgate and Tea Time, champions of the game. Man, if you wasn't in the building, you missed a treat. Sissy decked that building out. It was beautiful.
Yes.
The spirit was just so high. The love was just so high up in it. Y'all, not one person left early. So that said that they were having a great time, but we cannot wait to bring the panel before you all so we can show you all what an awesome time we had. Again, we love you here. It Had to Happen, and we cannot do this without you, and you. Meet me back here tomorrow for our Girls Talk Tuesday with Dr. B and the beautiful Kelly Davis. Tomorrow's topic is let them. Let them. Okay, meet us back if you can tomorrow at 5:30. Denzel, we missed you here today, but we see that you are in the building just looking on. We'll take that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Quest Speaker. And again, Natasha she did a phenomenal job. Sissy, wouldn't you say so?
Yes, she did. Yes. Everything was really good.
It was wonderful.
My girls say the heels have expired.
When they came off, I was like, okay, we ready to go now. It was phenomenal. I had everything that I needed. I did. It was wonderful.
Amazing. I'm telling y'all. So we're not sure when we're going to show it. So keep watch of the Facebook. Well, if you subscribe and you hit the notification button, you'll know when we'll come before you guys and let you guys see Tailgate and Tea Time. It was awesome. And even y'all, the food was, gosh, I didn't even get a chance to eat all my food because I'd be so high off of everything that go. Not high now, y'all. I don't smoke, so don't be taking it away with that. I was just high off the love. It was just so much love in that room. I'm telling you, it just was a great time, great atmosphere. Sissy got me, Natasha. I didn't know her Mama Bowie was gonna be in the building. Oh, she really got me. Yeah, but I'm telling you.
Yes, that was a wonderful moment.
Yeah, the tribute even to her, that was amazing that the DJ, y'all just got to come back and see. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and send the people out. So let's see what the last comment is. Thank you. Great topic tonight. You're welcome, Nisha. Welcome. You're welcome. She even came and was in the building, help her auntie out. Thank you so very much, Takia, for traveling down to Miami to help your aunties. We love you. So let's go ahead and send them people out with some virtual hugs. Oh my God. And some virtual love. I'll get the heart for you, Denzel. I got you. I got the heart. I actually had a couple of things that I had wanted to read tonight, but maybe another time. But do know it's okay not to be okay. Go in power. Have those hard conversations. Set those healthy boundaries. I'm telling you, they're working for your good. My niece say it was lit. Yes, it was. So have the hard conversation, but again, just love on people because people need it in this season. There's so much going on. This mental health awareness month. So let's all pull together and just love on one another. And if you don't know when a person is showing you love, ask God to reveal to you when a person is showing you love, because it may be a different love language. So until next time, guys, we love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.